my name is Vanessa. I'm a lightworker and I'm here to help. In this video, I want to talk about judgment. And I was listening to Sadhguru speak, a guest speaker on the impact theory on YouTube last night, and he said something that I loved. He said, it is if the world, the universe, rather, is a million-piece puzzle. And we have found 3 pieces of the puzzle. And so we say, oh, look, we have a picture. We know what's going on. But really, we just have such a small picture, a small understanding. We don't even understand our oceans entirely. Of course, we don't understand the vast universe entirely. We don't even understand an atom in its entirety. But yet we think that we are so sure of the beliefs that we have that we feel strongly that we can persecute others and that we can demonize others, dehumanize others for their beliefs. We really have so little of an idea of what is actually happening that it is completely pointless to judge others for their beliefs. And it doesn't serve us at all. As a child, I remember growing up and I was very grateful as a child. I had a minister knock at our door, as he did for all the neighborhood, the houses in the neighborhoods near his church, and he was inviting us children to come to the church, and there was a Sunday school there, and I really enjoyed going to church, and I was really looking and seeking for something. I knew that the world had a meaning, a really important meaning, and I was always seeking this out. And I was grateful for this man, but as I was in the church, even from an early age, this was a Protestant church, so it was really strict. You weren't supposed to, as a woman, cut your hair or paint your nails. In fact, I remember his little son, Nathan, he looked at my nails and they were painted, and he was so concerned. He had never seen it before. And a lot of things just clashed with what I believed to be true. I loved Jesus. I love Jesus still now. But there was always a clashing of truth for me, of the things that were being taught by man. I knew not to be true. And I moved on to other churches, Christian churches, non-denominational churches, and again, I was so grateful to have this experience to get to know Jesus, who I love. I've always had a wonderful relationship with him. However, the churches often made me feel very guilty and unloved and just so judged and really persecuted in many ways. And in fact, I lived with 2 different people from churches, and 2 different times my things were packed up for me without conversation, and I was asked to leave for breaking the rules of the church. Both times this involved a man. The first time I think I just went to the movies with the guy. Very innocent. But yeah, so we just are so freely judging others all day long, even in our regular lives, where we're like, can you believe this person did that? Yet we ourselves have done that frequently, maybe even a few days ago. Can you believe this person, called out of work or whatever? And it's like, how many times have you called out of work? Or, we're just so quick to judge, and we are blind by how much of sameness is there. And it's really just so harmful to our spirits, to our being, to our spiritual growth to judge anyone. And everyone has their own truth. So there are absolute truths, and then we all have our individual truths. So we can experience the same thing, and we can see the truth from that differently. And am I right, or are you right? The answer is we are both right. We are all right from where we stand, from our perspective of truth. And it is not right for us to challenge people's truths and people's beliefs. There's this thing in society where it's always like, an and or, it's like, someone was just mentioning this at work today. They're like, oh, I'm tired. And someone came to me and they were saying, oh, like, you're not tired. I'm tired. I was up this. And it's like, you can be tired and I can be tired. It doesn't have to be a contest for one. And also, just because I have a different truth from you doesn't mean that you have to be wrong so I can be right. You can be right, and I can be right. We can have separate truths. Our truths do not have to match. Okay, that is never probably going to happen also. And it's not fair to try and, make people believe what we believe. We need to be more accepting of everyone's beliefs and everyone's truth, and understanding that we do not have to be wrong or right. It doesn't have to work like that. That is a completely man-made idea. And the more open that we can be and the less judgmental that we can be, the freer we become, and the more open to love and receiving love and healing that we will receive. So yes, I really hope that we can all embody this non-judgment somehow in our lives, because it's just so harmful. And like I said, the main thing that I see is just the constant judgment for people's behaviors, the people in your life, your coworkers, maybe your friends, your neighbors, your family members, judging them for something that you yourself have done. In fact, probably many times. So we need to be more compassionate. We need to be more understanding and far less judgmental. And the other thing is that I've talked about this many times before, but anytime we are triggered by someone, so someone is saying something and it is triggering us, it is evoking some sort of strong emotion, that is a clear indicator that there is something involved with us that also represents this. So you are not triggered by things that you do not embody yourself, or that you do not need healing from yourself, that you do not have a shadow side of yourself. You simply are not triggered. So there are things that everyone is triggered by, that things that each person will be triggered by, and things that you won't. And it is really a valuable piece of information to take the things that you are triggered by and examine them carefully and see, how is this an embodiment of you? So say, for example, that you get really upset with people who are, I don't know, maybe let's use the example of lazy. And it really just triggers you every time you see someone that you don't think is really doing enough. And what's really happening is that you yourself have an aspect of you, a part of you that is lazy and is being triggered by seeing this person's laziness. It isn't something that you want to see in yourself, and that is what is causing this strong emotion. So this is really powerful. If we could all understand that when we are truly triggered by someone and really offended and angered and hurt by someone, that is an aspect of ourselves. And if we could come to realize this, then judgment would just start to fall apart. Yes. So yes, the universe is a million-piece puzzle, and we have the tantamount of 3 pieces of the puzzle. We understand almost nothing. The more people learn, the more people understand how little they know. And collectively, this goes for us collectively. The things that we do not know are far, far, far greater than the things that we know. And you can say, well, I know and I believe in God. Which God? As a child, I always thought, this is insane that everyone is fighting over the name of God, and it never made any sense to me. And I always understood that there always had to be one God, and that the name really was a ridiculous thing to fight over and argue over. And how could one group of people in this area, or in this country, be right? They were the right ones and everyone else was wrong. It just seems so absurd to me. Yet this has been one of the main things that people have been fighting over since the dawn of time, is God, the name of God. Which God do you serve? So I'm really hopeful that we are a new earth now, and we are moving quickly into a time of acceptance for people's beliefs, acceptance for people's differences, and to understand how futile and just really destructive it is to judge others and try to make others wrong and ourselves right. And someone, I've heard this many times before, and I can't for the life of me think of where it came from, but they said, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Because you can't be both. And this is what happens to us a lot of the times. We're so busy trying to be right that we lose sight of the fact that if we just let go of the entire thing altogether and stop trying to prove who's right and wrong, that is when we can be happy and free. So I ask you to let go of the judgment you have towards others. Stop trying to prove you are right, or stop treating this world like it is a contest to be won. We are all earthlings, all here on this earth together, all trying to do the best we can with the 3 pieces of the puzzle, of the million-piece puzzle. So I ask you please to be kind and forgiving and accepting of other people's beliefs and other people's shortcomings. Don't let other people's shortcomings be a distraction for your own. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to connect with you soon. Thank you.